are 3 days into the new year. Doesn't 2020 have a nice ring to it? 2020. It just sounds like the perfect year to do something great, life-changing even. Believe with me that this year is your year. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host for today, Audrey Williams. Hang around and let's browse the pages together. I'll be right back.
We cannot and will not slow our pace. Much remains to be done.
Join us as we recap the policies and programs implemented by the Office of the Prime Minister in calendar year 2019. That's a review of the activities in the Office of the Prime Minister in 2019, right here on this station.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 3. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, is officially reporting growth for the third quarter of 2019. From July to September, there was economic growth of 0.6% over the corresponding period of 2018. Statin says this outturn is 0.3% higher than the Planning Institute of Jamaica's estimate for the period, which was announced in November. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke points out that the figure represents the 19th consecutive quarter of economic growth for Jamaica. This is the longest unbroken stretch dating back to 1997, when quarterly measurements commenced, surpassing the previous period of 9 consecutive quarters. In a statement on Thursday, Statin said the increase for the September 2019 quarter resulted from 1.2% growth in the services industries. This was achieved despite a 1% contraction in the goods-producing industries, which saw all sectors declining, except manufacturing, which grew by 4.9%. It was balanced by growth in all 8 service industry sectors, with finance and insurance going up 3.4% and hotels and restaurants 2.5%. Still, the Statistical Institute says the 2019 third quarter outturn was 0.1% lower than the previous April to June period. This was due to a 0.4% fall in the goods-producing industries, despite a 0.1% increase in the services industries. In reaction to the news, the finance minister says the fact that the economy still expanded overall, despite a decline of nearly 18% in the critical alumina sector, is a credit to the improving economic resilience of the Jamaican economy. It is anticipated that for the upcoming 2020-2021 fiscal year, economic growth will return to the levels recorded prior to the Gisco Alpart closure. Minister Clarke says the projection is for growth above 1%. He says government will continue to use all levers at its disposal to elevate growth levels beyond this across the medium term. In the meantime, the Bank of Jamaica BOJ is reporting that $2.9 billion in net currency was distributed into circulation locally during the last 5 working days of 2019. The net currency was issued between December 23 and 31. In a statement released yesterday, the BOJ said this outturn for the week contributed to an overall $18.9 billion for December. This represented a 14.5% growth in the currency stock for the month, which was consistent with expenditure associated with the festive Christmas season. As at December 31, an overall stock of $148.9 billion was issued for the year. This represents an annual increase of 11.5% when compared to the corresponding period in 2018. According to the BOJ, when the estimated change in consumer prices is taken into account, the real annual growth in currency at the end of December 2019 is 5.6%. This is compared to 17.5% for the corresponding period in 2018. The central bank says it anticipates that the majority of the currency in circulation during December will be redeemed during January. In other news, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is reassuring the public that Jamaica remains eradicated of locally transmitted malaria. That milestone was achieved in 2012, and for almost 8 years, Jamaica has been reinstated on the official register of areas where malaria eradication was achieved. The ministry's statement comes against the background of recent reports of malaria cases in the country. Since 2012, Jamaica's health system has detected only imported cases of the mosquito-borne disease, which is caused by the malaria parasite that is transmitted to humans by the infected bite of a female Anopheles mosquito. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come here. Take time running, are we ready for the ops? Drive up on your block, step out now me block, cyber take about your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence to drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the underground. Sin you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Please say you get wet, look out for. Look out for, look out for. From you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Please say you get wet, look out for. Look out for, look out for.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
Did you know that there is a high school right here in Jamaica that offers students driving lessons? The Driving Ed program at the Jonathan Grant High School in St. Catherine is a one-of-a-kind program that is preparing students to be brave, all-rounded and skillful young men and women of tomorrow. Learn more next.
Like any typical high school student, we do the arts.
We also do the sciences
and business.
Here at Jonathan Grant High School, there are 4 of us who also do driving ed.
School zone, school zone, school zone, school zone, school zone.
Good morning, Miss Clark.
Good morning,
Miss Clark.
Good morning. It's another episode of School Zone, and as you can see, we're journeying with the students of the Driving Ed program at the Jonathan Grant High School. Right now, we're joining them at one of their driving training areas in Eltham Park, where we're going to witness firsthand what one of their classes is all about. But before we begin, let's learn some more about the program.
At Jonathan Grant High School, we pride ourselves in being innovative and creative. And so as a result of that, we decided that we were going to try with our students to ensure as many as possible to leave our institution with a driver's license. And as part of that, we wanted to ensure that all students leave with TRN as well. So the driver's license experience was part of that package. And so we decided to roll it out to students who are at age 17. And so we managed to enroll about 5 or 6 students. We wanted more, but 5 or 6 students came forward. And so as a result of that, the Driving Education 101 was rolled out. The trainer, Mr. Frank, his wife, former vice principal of this institution, he does this for a living. And so when we came up with the idea for the program, he's the first person that came to my mind. I sat down with him and spoke with him, and he decided to give us a package which I believe was reasonable. The school decided to put up front the amount charged by Mr. Frank for 3 students, and then the others pay. I'm hoping that come next school year that the program will be bigger. We can have at least 10-20 students in the program, and no doubt I'm going to seek some funding from elsewhere. All the students in the program are in the upper school, grade 10, 11, 12, 13. They're on the afternoon shift, which starts at 12. So they'll go to Mr. Frank at about 9 o'clock in the mornings.
We pick them up at school, take them to the location where we have the obstacle to training, and then we time them as one finish a time, that shift over to the wheel, another one take over, and we go through the process. We do the pre-driving inspection, where you check your documents, know the expiration of your documents, check on your engine to know the oil level, the fuel level, water level, and so on. Then we do the engine, the tire check and the lights to make sure they know when they are functioning. After going through that, then we introduce them to the vehicle, where they know the controls, the name of the controls, the usage. Following that, then we go through the forward driving. As soon as they are comfortable with the forward driving, we do some turn, left and right turn, and some stops and moving off. After they are comfortable with that now, then we introduce unit 2, which is reverse. When we introduce reverse, first we introduce them how to do straight reverse. As soon as they are comfortable with the straight reverse, then we do the left hand back up. Left hand back up out of the road and come to the left side. As soon as they are comfortable with the left side, we go to the right side. And real life situation that helps them to take the car out of the driveway to put it out on the road and to do the left and right backup. After they are comfortable with that now, then we introduce them to the S-bend. And what is the S-bend now? As the name suggests, that prepare them like they are in a parking lot and they are learning how to maneuver without touching the other vehicles in the lot. As soon as they are comfortable with that, then we introduce them to the parallel parking, Unit 3. And parallel parking is like a parking between two vehicles on the sidewalk, left and right hand side. That's it. Okay, so we line up with the first marker there, then full lock to your left. Good, and then you straighten the wheel. And you notify the examiner to finish by blowing your horn or tooting your horn. Now we are exiting the parking area. Okay guys, so that is it for today's practice. Well done, I'm proud of you all.
Yes, well done. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Ready?
Hi Jamaica, we are the first batch of students from the Jonathan Grant High School to be a part of the Driving Ed program. You're watching School Zone.
Safety and confidence are two crucial components of this driving course. So how can we achieve that? By listening to your instructor, adhering to your road rules / road code, be aware of your surrounding, and be confident in what you're doing.
So we've made our way back to the school campus, and right now we're going to be speaking to the 5 lucky students of the Driving Ed program. We're going to be asking them about their thoughts on the course.
We decided to do this program because it is essential and it's a skill that we'd love to have in the future, and it is very beneficial to us as students to learn how to drive. Because, as you know, we're 6th formers and we'll be going to colleges, and learning to drive and getting our license at the end of the course means taking a next step, like buying a car and driving to school.
I was a little excited knowing that I'll be learning how to drive. Even though I was learning before, my dad taught me a little about driving before, but during each lessons I've learned a lot more. For example, learning the left hand backup, the right hand backup, and I didn't really know how to do the parallel parking, so I've learned a lot since then.
The exam basically is split into 3 different sections. You have the written test, the on-ground test, and the road test. So the written test is broken down into mechanical and road code, which I really had a problem with the mechanical because you have more than one correct answers, and when you think you know, sometimes you don't. So I was really nervous when it came down to that, but I passed, so that means others can too.
Learning to drive is not a right, it's a privilege, and once you are afforded that privilege, then I believe that you should make the best of it.
My mother's thought, actually, she was and still is excited about the program because she sees it as something that will help me to further my future.
My name is Hortense Wellington and I'm Elian's mom, and I'm so enthused about him doing this program. It is a big achievement on his part, and I'm really proud of him. And I'm also proud of the program for allowing them this opportunity to excel in this venture. He has big dreams of owning his own trucking company, so this, having his license, will enable him to venture out on that dream of his.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wellington, and this is such a fitting way to end the program for today. Thank you so much for joining with us. If you want to watch this program all again, simply visit our website jis.gov.jm. And if you think you have what it takes to be featured in School Zone, email me at sclark@gis.gov.jm. I'm Sandra Clark, reminding you that
We got our license and you can too. Drive good.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
I encourage the deaf children to have deaf pride, to know that they can. You are on the same level as a hearing person. It doesn't matter that you can't hear. You have a lot of deaf adults who are successful, and you can achieve. You can get the education that you want, you can do anything that you want, you can achieve. Don't feel like you can't because you're deaf.
In believing that nothing is impossible, I have been able to culture a very positive attitude to life, and that positive attitude has worked for me, and I am confident it will work for others. I would want to say to persons with vision impairment and disabilities that it is critical that they become tooled or retooled with the appropriate technologies that can help to drive the way forward so that they can accomplish their vision and their goals.
Children with disabilities, whether you have CP or not, I strongly believe that you have a purpose. My disability has taught me that when it says the sky is the limit, it is. There are times when you're going to fall, but what is to stop you from rising?
In addition to the students at Jonathan Grant High School who are doing well at the Driving Ed program, there is another young man who is defying the odds in his own little way at the same institution. Despite living with a life-threatening brittle bone disease, he has emerged as the top student of the graduating class of 2019. Here's more.
For me, I always had to live with the consequence that I may not be able to walk again after a fracture or be the same or basically do things like, oh, everyone else does it. My name is Arva McKellop and I have osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bone. In short, it basically means that your bones are a lot easier to break than a normal person, and it makes everyday things more challenging for you. My condition of brittle bone is rather mild compared to others, but it's still very serious. Some of the characteristics of my brittle bone is that my sclera is slightly blue, and I'm also rather short, and I also had bow leg, but that was corrected in grade 7. My father has the condition, so my family expected that I would also have the condition. Over the years, they've rather treated me like a member of the family, really, no different than anyone else.
But despite his family's efforts to protect and shield him, 18-year-old Orville has had his fair share of fractures over the years.
So I'm a student at the Jonathan Grant High School, and in the 7th grade, my first major accident occurred. I had to do a replacement surgery to replace the pins that were placed in my leg when I was around 4. And after that, during my time recovering, I tripped and fell and I broke my right femur and had to be hospitalized again. It was in the 8th grade when I tripped and fell in a class and broke both my left and right thigh. When you're recovering from a major surgery, you often get lost in boredom. You don't have much to do, so during that time I experimented, and graphic design was one of those things I experimented with, and over time it just grew into something more than just a hobby. I have very generous friends, I guess you could say, and they're very dedicated, so they would come visit me like 3 times for the week and bring notes to me so I could get them, and just to cheer me up.
And when it was time for Orville to return to school, he had the right support and frame of mind to resume his duties as a student.
My mom has been my greatest supporter throughout my time recovering and during my exams. She supports me by making sure on a daily basis I have everything I need for school, despite the cost or how hard it might be to get it. I had many friends. Sometimes it would be like a tug of war to see who would carry my bag today, who would carry my crutches today, and really was more of a race to see who would be able to carry me up the stairs first. I had to take a lot of time out and stop doing many of the things I would do in my extra time and dedicate most of my time towards studying. I mostly study when I get here at school, since I live in a rather noisy environment, so I'd rather get here super early so I can study until it's time for classes. Usually I'd get here by 9 o'clock, but my classes start at 12:20 to be exact.
Fast forward to a few years later, when the hard work, determination and support of his friends and family have paid off. Orville has emerged as the top student of the graduating class of 2019 at Jonathan Grant High School.
I managed to get 10 subjects in the category of 4 1s and 6 2s. I mainly did business subjects and visual arts, along with the mandatory maths, English, and IT, and 3 others. Being the top student of the graduating class of 2019 is quite a... I wish I could say it was unexpected, but I was being hyped up the entire time by my friends. Who were like, yeah, you're gonna get it.
I'm happy that I got to see him go through his struggles and whatever he had to go through, and he still came out on top. He didn't. He fell and he got back up. Orville is he's a great person, and I am motivated by him because he perseveres. He keeps pushing through regardless of his obstacles, and that is a great motivator. I am happy that I stuck to him.
The aspiring chartered accountant and graphic artist, who has received a full scholarship from the school to attend sixth form, vows to continue to excel in his future endeavors.
I plan on satisfying the requirements of the scholarship by giving it my best in terms of my academic and extracurricular performances during my time here. As it pertains to where I would like to go after sixth form, I preferably like to go to either the University of the West Indies or UTech to pursue my career in accounting. I would just like to say thank you to each and everyone that has supported me throughout the years, even in the smallest way possible, because each and every one of you and your support, it really does matter to me.
A wise author once said, "The highest levels of performance are empowered by the deepest levels of belief." We oftentimes hear it, belief kills and belief cures. This simply means that our beliefs can either empower us or limit us. And since we've started a whole new year and decade, it's only fitting that I remind you about the power of belief. Listen up. 1. Belief creates vision. It sees the invisible, those things we have not yet accomplished. It sees our goals and envisions the path required to achieve those goals. 2. Belief creates strength of will. It ignites strength to commit to our goals, strength to persevere, and strength to exercise consistent discipline. 3. Belief creates resilience. It enables us to bounce back from adversity, to navigate through all our challenges, difficulties, and setbacks. And 4. Belief ignites and activates. It unleashes you. It activates your ability to perform at the highest level and become your best self. So, as you face the year 2020 with its overabundance of opportunities and possibilities, believe in yourself and dreams. It's time for even more growth.
A common practice while socializing, celebrating, or just relaxing is the consumption of alcohol. To some, this is second nature. All too common also are the negative effects that drinking has on the human body. While occasional drinking is not necessarily a problem, it's the excessive intake that can have severe consequences. The effects of too much alcohol consumption include blurred vision, breathing problems, impaired judgment, concentration problems, slurred speech, and of course, addiction resulting from long-term use. Now, these effects may vary based on a variety of factors such as how much you drink, how often you drink, your age, health status, and family history. Alcohol use does not have to be reckless. Here are some tips to practice responsible drinking.
Plan ahead. If you plan on drinking at an event, get a designated driver.
Shoulder. Yeah. Set your own limit. No much is too much.
Know your family history. If you come from a family with a history of alcohol dependence, you might want to limit your drinking.
Remember, responsible drinking is a very simple thing.
Unfortunately, we have arrived at the final page in today's magazine. Thanks for browsing with us. To watch today's program again, simply visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you're able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Audrey, reminding you that nothing is impossible. Get this, if you look at the word impossible, you'll see that it reads, I'm possible. It simply means you've got this. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.